Hey kids, how's it going? It's Grandpa. So today I wanted to talk about my favorite food. The food that was given straight from God and arrived in Naples sometime around the mid to late 1800s. And that food is pizza. I could eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I love it so much. But first let's talk about what types of pizza, and we're gonna just keep this to the United States because globally there's just tons of different kinds. So let's start out with a kind I just recently tried, which was St. Louis style pizza. Now, St. Louis style pizza is generally like a round, like traditional how you'd normally see pizza, except the crust is like a crackery crust, really crisp, and then it's got cheese and toppings on it. Now, a different kind would be Detroit style pizza. Now, Detroit style pizza is generally square. The crust is generally a little bit thicker, and it's similar to like the New England style pizza, which is also generally square, but the New England one tends to have more seafood given the area, whereas the Detroit one a lot of times is the standard marinara, cheese, and sausage. New Jersey style is very similar to Chicago style, except it's a traditional thin crust, where Chicago style, one of the best, is a thicker crust. And Chicago style has the sauce on top, just like New Jersey, except like I said, New Jersey's thin crust, Chicago is a deep dish. Now the deep dish pizzas can take about 45 minutes to an hour to cook. So in order to not have your ingredients like your sausage or mushrooms or whatever burned, they put a lot of the sauce on the top of it to keep that from happening. The next one is Neapolitan, and Neapolitan is traditional style, and that's what the first pizzas that came here were, Neapolitan, and they're very simple, usually just have like a sausage, a pepperoni, maybe like some sort of green on it, and marinara and crust. It's a thinner crust, but not quite as thin as the St. Louis one, and a lot of times you'll see them in like fancier restaurants where they'll have like the pizza pan and they'll put them in an oven. It's usually like a wood burning oven. However, in New York they've got a couple coal burning ones, which are illegal because of the pollution, but there's been a couple that have been grandfathered in, so there's very few of them, but we'll talk about one later. The next one is my favorite, the New York style. Now, New York style is also a thinner one, but not quite as thin as the Neapolitan, and sometimes it can have more or less, usually a lot of extra cheese, and it's generally soggier, which is why you can fold them up and eat them, and they're just the best. So, next we will talk about, what is the real first pizza place in the United States? Like, who was the first? There's a huge debate in New York, but I'm gonna go with Lombardi's, and that's where I went, and they're actually the first pizza place to get a license. So they are, like, history has documented they're the first pizza place. However, there's been other restaurants that were set up a little bit before them, before Lombardi's, and I think Lombardi's even opened up in like 18 something, but the license wasn't until like 1904. So other restaurants existed, however, they weren't licensed. So they're considered the official licensed one, and they're a coal burning one, which is really cool because you don't see them everywhere, and they would be considered the first. Now, I looked up also the top 3 pizza places in America. Who's rated the top 3? And let's see, the number 1, or no, we'll go with 3. 3 is Pizza Delicious in New Orleans. So I've been to New Orleans, but I never had this, but I bet it's good because everything in New Orleans is good. The food is awesome. I'll do a video about New Orleans one of these times. The next one, number 2, is Paulie G's in Brooklyn, yo! Brooklyn in the house. I never went there, but I hope to try it because I've got a left family in New York who I love. Hey guys, and hopefully we'll get out to Brooklyn and try this out. And the number 1 was a surprise. It's called Tony's Pizza Neapolitan. And that's in San Francisco, California, and they're famous for their mushroom pizza. They've got some other pizzas as well on that list of like the top 10 pizzas. And that is about it. Just in case you were wondering, my favorite topping is pepperoni. So I'm a very simplistic kind of guy. But I love you guys. Take care, and I hope you learned something. I'll talk to you later. Check out my other videos, subscribe, and my YouTube page, Facebook page. All right, bye.